Day one of portal pandemonium is behind us. I think Auburn's actually in a good spot.
Listen, put me in the parking lot, with Bears, and I'll go out there and play. It don't matter.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate, as we are joined by Auburn message board legend, the Charlie 5 himself. All right, we got our first glimpse of what the opening day of this portal situation will look like in this new era of college football, which is exciting, which was good. And really, I thought it was a net positive for Auburn because nobody that was like you thought was going to be a starter left. And then guys that you need upside in their specific positions, Charlie 5, left. And we don't know if they were processed or if they left on their own terms. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Just the whole point of it is like, all right, Zach Calzada's gone. You need a transfer quarterback anyway. Maybe it's now easier to make that pitch to a top-notch guy. It's like, all right, really, you just got to beat Robbie Ashford. Maybe Holden, Geriner, probably not. Focus more on Robbie Ashford there. Same with Joko Willis leaving. Like, you need a bunch of edge guys. Like, I don't know how many you need, but there's not like a number that you say where I'm like, that's too high, unless you get to like double digits. So a little dramatic, but still like that's great. And then like the wide receiver room, right? Like you lose Dazalin Worsham, you lose who's the other one? Capers. Ze'Vian Capers is gone. And it's like, well, I think if those two guys stay, there's too much, there's too many bodies in that room. And so like all of a sudden now you're able to go out at all these positions of need and say, hey, there is a place for you to succeed and see the field early. So the departures, like you hate to see people go, but also like the upside of what could come in is totally worth it.
Oh yeah, totally. So yeah, we saw it last year. We talked like 6, 8th year seniors into coming back, and from not like aggressively pursuing the portal, and then just that selling point being an obstacle in front of you. We didn't sign, basically anyone. So you nailed it when you talked about, I guess, your position inventory that you have, I guess, of different players.
Yeah, it's like roster capital, I guess.
Roster capital. Yeah, sure. It's just a lot easier sell. One of the things that I love that we came out of the first day, we've already got there's already visits scheduled. So that means we were prepared for it. We were on top of it, and there's a couple of guys that are already scheduled to come in to visit. You got the big wide receiver, Ra Thomas
from Mississippi State. Caught 2 touchdowns against us a few weeks ago.
Yeah, beautiful. He has a great Moss highlight on LSU this year too. So
and Nehemiah Pritchett.
Yeah, and there's already talk of some offensive linemen coming in to visit, some maybe even some quarterbacks. So we lost guys. I don't feel like we lost anybody that is going to make a significant impact other than the depth chart, being a body on a depth chart moving forward. Did about as good as you. I think you did. I think we still got 40 plus days.
44 days left.
44 days of this thing. But I would say day one, there's not a lot of commits. There was not a lot of huge commits today. So I think for the most part, a lot of these guys know where they want to go. But they're still the size of the portal, the explosion of players, not just guys that couldn't make depth charts, but like guys that led their team in certain statistics, like Missouri's leading wide receiver. Several of those across the country. I just think it was sort of hard to expect a lot of this. So it's not going to go as fast as it's going to go fast, but not nearly as fast as it has in the past, where it's like, boom, you're in, boom, commit. I think there's just so many people all at once. It's going to take a few days to sort of shake out. But I think Auburn's in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think there's other stuff too where it's like There's a lot of people pointing out how many people are leaving Bama. I'm not going to read too much into that. They've got talent coming in. It's a different thing. But like Texas A&M, like how are they not? They've got to be worried about what's going on, right? Like they're losing 12 guys, but like it's 12 like solid dudes, and it's 12 at the time of us recording. I mean, heck, by the time this comes out, two or three more guys may have hopped in, and so Lindsay and I talked about this yesterday with taking Ole Miss's offensive line coach, like. The fact that like we didn't have to do anything and an SEC West team got worse yesterday, like that's awesome.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and going back to Texas A&M, like you're losing dudes from your storied recruiting class, like not like third year juniors who aren't seeing the field. You're losing like your guys that you sold as the future, the cornerstone. And then Alabama, it seems like you said, they're making wholesale. It seems like they're making wholesale offensive changes. Like they're going completely. It's a ton of offensive dudes that are leaving. So, yeah, there's really good Oklahoma. Like I feel like they've lost tons of highly recruited guys. I mean,
Oklahoma's linebacker that they lost, that 5-star linebacker. It's like there's no way to justify
5-star offensive tackles. Like I mean, there's a bunch of
many good tackles in the portal, and it's like we only need like 2 of them. Like that's all. We only need 2. Hugh Freeze, go get it done, man. Go make it happen.
Do you want to discuss the elephant in the room, offensive tackle that we're probably looking at? Do you want to talk about it? Do we need to address?
I don't know where we're going here.
Javon Cohen from.
Is he a tackle? I thought he was a guard.
He's listed. He's played guard. I think he was recruited as a tackle. I guess he could play. Heck, he could play wherever he wanted to at Auburn, more than likely. I mean, a lot of Auburn fans haven't forgiven him. What do you
get over it? Like, get over it. If he wants to come play here, let him do the crane kick at Geriner Stadium or what. For those who don't know, Ze'Vian Cohen, Central Phoenix City kid, was committed to Auburn, then decommitted, flipped to Bama closer to, I think it was the early signing period in 2019, I think. Yeah, and he was pretty vocal against Auburn on Twitter, and then he made fun of Auburn. He went into Auburn's practice for the Birmingham Bowl. I was making fun of them or something like that, and was doing the crane kick thing on a video. Yeah, which honestly a tougher look for him than anyone else. Like, let's just all agree on that. I think he would probably agree with that too. But I don't care. Like, he's very good. Yeah. Like, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
No doubt. You gotta move on. I can't let
if you got 4 Cohens, I'll say 3. Auburn wins 2 more games next year.
Easily.
If you get that caliber, if you get 3 of him, that caliber on the offensive line, you win 2 more games next season.
I think I saw a stat as a true freshman when he played. I think he sat out last year. I think he had some mental health problems or something like that, issues that he was getting fixed, getting himself right or whatever. But the first 2 years that he played, I don't think he registered a sack given up.
I saw that too.
Like that's a crazy stat. Like, that's insane.
Who cares if he made fun of you at the Birmingham Bowl? Like, who cares?
And it's Phoenix City. Like, hey, let's mend some bridges. Like, let's get in there.
Who's the other Central kid that I'm sure there's more than 2?
EJ Williams is a
Clemson
wide
receiver.
He's a Clemson wide receiver. Had a good freshman year. Hasn't really done much since, but also their quarterback's not been very good. Who's also in the portal, which is nuts. But yeah, DJ. I'm just gonna call him DJU. How about that?
DJU's fine. Yeah. I want to talk about quarterbacks in the portal in just a second and what it means for Auburn right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Omaha Steaks. True or false, Charlie 5? You love juicy meat.
I love all the juicy meat.
That's what I'm saying. Who doesn't love juicy meat? The holidays are here. If you're wondering about what to give anybody that likes juicy meat in your life, the steak experts at Omaha Steaks, they've put together special curated gift packages to help take the guesswork out of gifting and make you a holiday hero. Go to omahasteaks.com and take advantage of 50% off site-wide. Plus, you can use promo code Locked On at checkout to get an additional $30 off your order. So that's 50% off, Charlie 5, then $30 off. Wow. And essentially, your freezer is just stocked with high-quality meat True or false? Do you like high quality meat?
I love high quality meat, and I like
I thought you
lots
did.
of it at low prices.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So I got this for he was dating my mother-in-law. I got this for him for Christmas last year, and now they're married. So does Omaha Steaks cause love? I don't know. Maybe.
The evidence is clear.
I love the juicy meat. So visit omahasteaks.com, 50% off site-wide. If you use promo code Locked On at checkout, you can get an extra $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required. Charlie 5, Auburn message board legend. All right, so I want to look at some of these quarterbacks that are available, right? You got to think with Calzada entering the portal. I think we already agreed Auburn probably needed to go get another one anyway with Calzada leaving. And I love that we all just assumed TJ Finley's gone. Like, I love that we just kind of all assume that. But I think you got to bring somebody else in to battle with Robby, or at least back up Robby. So we will.
I agree. You can't if Calzada's gone, and then we assume TJ is. He's basically all but said he was, and there was. I don't want to go. There's a whole lot more you could go into there, but it's probably he's probably not going to be back. So you're looking at Robby and Holden for the most part, and that's it. So you got to bring in. You would think at least one transfer, and it's going to be hard to bring in a transfer to sit. You got to bring in a guy who's you're going to bring in a guy who's wanting to play, wanting to compete. So there's not a shortage of dudes that could do that.
The timing for TJ is so interesting because he can't transfer again now until he graduates. He doesn't graduate till after this spring semester.
Yeah.
And though all of his classes are online, supposedly, but still, like, you can't enroll somewhere else. So I'm curious to see how they play all that. All right, so
his options are going to be limited, you would think.
Yeah, the timing is unfortunate for him. All right, so we mentioned DJU at Clemson, Graham Mertz at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Haynes King, Texas A&M. Didn't work with one Aggie. Maybe we can get another one. I don't know.
No,
Phil Jerkovich, he went to Pitt. Cade McNamara's at Iowa. Hudson Card, Texas.
Interesting one. That's an interesting one.
Athletic. He's got the traits. Here's one I really like. Jeff Sims at Georgia Tech. I think he's
I like Jeff Sims too. Jeff Sims. All right. So Georgia Tech's roster is terrible. Okay. Absolutely terrible. And if you look at Jahmyr Gibbs' stats at Georgia Tech, they don't jump off the page. It's not like, holy cow, can't miss guy. But you put him on Alabama's roster, and he's unbelievable. You're going to look at his stats, and it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same. Nothing like just super jumps off at you, but you watch his film, and you can see he's pretty electric. And the thing is, on 247 Sports, he's ranked as a 4-star transfer. So they value him. I think there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to go. They're going to look at him. So he may be at the top of my list so far of the guys that I feel like are in the portal.
I think I'm with you. If I could pick one transfer quarterback, it may be him. Lindsey Crosby put together a list of the top quarterbacks and kind of tracking them. It's at auburndaily.com. It's at the top of the page.
Right.
But under Jeff Sims, he's got 3-year starter, has 4,400 yards, 30 touchdowns, 23 picks in 25 games. So we'll see. But he's got 2 years left of eligibility. So you'll love that.
Yes.
Hank Bachmeier at Boise State. I'm kind of done with Boise for a while, but maybe. Luke Altmaier at Ole Miss. That's interesting. Keaton Slovis transferring away from Pitt. Please no. Devin Leary at NC
Remember
State.
We thought he was going to be our savior?
We were really pumped on him. Yeah. That was about a year ago, right?
Yeah. I was.
And we also thought we were going to get Caleb Williams. So, I mean, that was a wild time.
It was a wild time. If I would have known he painted his fingernails, I would have not wanted him. I'm just kidding.
Caleb Williams painted his fingernails?
Oh my God! There was a whole segment on before the Pac-12 championship. It was him. It was him, Matt Leinart, and Reggie Bush, and they were sitting down getting their nails done. And then what the greatest thing is on his nails, it says back to back. in other words, we're about to go back to back Pac-12. I guess, did they win the Pac-12 last year? I don't know.
No,
back
Utah
to back.
did. Yeah, Utah
they
went
lost.
back.
Well, who knows? I don't know what back to back means, but
didn't work.
It did not work.
Devin Leary's interesting. A lot of people were really high on him going into the season, and I'm like, I don't know if I buy it, but
he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
He threw for like 1 million yards one year. It was, I think it was last
pretty
year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And what do you think about Mike Wright? What if Auburn got Mike Wright from Vandy?
Oh, I don't know that I don't.
You're not fired up about it?
No, I saw him have a long touchdown run against some directional school earlier in the year, but
Gotcha.
Other than that, I don't really know a whole lot.
Does Austin Reed, the Western Kentucky guy that had some great throws against us, does that move the needle at all for you?
He's also thrown for 1 million yards in his career. If you look at him, I think if you go back and look,
I thought he was pretty good when he was playing against us.
He had some pretty bad misses, but it's Western Kentucky. He can sling it. I think this kid, I think he won like a D2 national championship or something at like University of West Florida, then transferred to Western Kentucky, threw for 1 million yards. He's probably thrown for 2 million yards in his college career. It's amazing. Just yards everywhere.
Yeah, yards everywhere. Spencer Sanders entered the portal. Some people freaked out about that. Some people were like, why are we talking about this? But maybe that's one. So there's names out there, Charlie 5.
Yeah.
Who knows who Auburn's going to get?
There's names with experience, and then there's names that,
Upside.
maybe don't have experience that just, are looking for that shot. So
what do you think is more important? Do you think the experience is extremely important, or do you think with Hugh Freeze, a guy that's kind of been able to do a lot with whatever quarterback he's coached, is it just kind of traits that you want?
I don't think experience is a necessity. I think because number one, I don't think you're gonna have a ton of guys that are just like can't miss, tons of experience and whatnot in the portal. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the portal. Unless it's a guy like the kid from Western Kentucky who is trying to move up some. So, no, I do not think experience is 100% necessary. It's great if they've had some playing experience, but I just don't think like Hudson Card. You put Hudson Card on, with Hugh Freeze, and I think you could have a very potent relationship there. Like they could make a lot. They could make a lot of noise.
Yeah, the folks in that category, to me, I like the upside of Robbie Ashford more.
Sure.
I think.
I can see why.
Do you think if I told you right now Robbie Ashford will be Auburn's starting quarterback next year, are you concerned at all?
Yes. And
really?
I'll tell you why. A little bit. Yeah. Let me just tell you why. I know his AC joint was injured, and that does affect accuracy. But in general, accuracy sort of is what it is. Now, some of that is based off of offense, like what kind of passes are they asking to throw, or is it a lot of but like there's just a lot of like you can't miss type passes that we missed a ton of. And that to me, now his athleticism is off the charts. His upside, I feel like, is off the charts. But if that's all you have, I would be just a little bit nervous because, hey, number one, he sprained his AC joint. So, like, he runs hard. He plays hard. So, like, after him, who do you have left?
Right.
I would be a tad concerned if there was nobody added.
And I can already hear people commenting this right now. What about Holden Geriner? I mean, is the upside of giving Geriner a shot year 2 in a systems when you take that big jump? At what point is that more valuable than some of these names?
It's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer.
I got you.
We just haven't seen much. I know you're gonna be like, well, you're just talking about quarterbacks that you haven't seen a lot of. There's some things about Geriner that I think worked better with Harsin in Harson's system than may work in Freeze's system. So I'm a little bit concerned.
Sure.
I'm just a tad concerned about that.
I get it. All right. What to expect with this next few weeks as the portal is open? We'll tell you in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Can we pause the pod for a second? Okay. Paused. Great. because you got to try this. I'm talking about Built Bar's new reimagined flavors, cookie dough topper, coconut brownie bar, coconut brownie topper. Are you kidding me? First off, for anyone who hasn't tried Built Bars before, they are literally the best tasting protein bars ever built. I've seen people cry because they tears of just happiness eating these Built Bars. I've also seen people get a lot more healthy because they are they are revolutionizing nutrition, as we know, with 100% real chocolate, 17 grams of protein, and shockingly low sugar and calories, just 130 calories. So you can get 15% off your order right now by using the code LOCKEDON15, LOCKEDON15 at built.com. Final few minutes today with the Auburn message board legend, Charlie 5. What are you expecting moving forward? How many guys is Auburn going to pick up in the portal, do you think? Does it hit double digits? Do you expect another wave of Auburn guys to leave? Kind of tell me where your headspace is at over these next few days.
So I feel like we're going to add, I would say it would have to be at least 15 guys off the portal, from the portal.
Before January?
It would have to be. There's going to be a guy. I think we're about to get our first one here pretty soon. His name is Rivaldo Fairweather from Florida International. Keith Niebuhr's already put in a projection for him. It seems like somebody that
I think Keith mentioned he interviewed him too, so he may have gone to info there.
Target him early. Listen to this: 6'5", 245 tight end with 2 or 3 years left to play.
Okay.
Let's see. This past season, he had 28 catches, 426 yards, 3 touchdowns. In his last game he played, 8 catches, 152 yards, 3 touchdowns with a 75-yard was his longest one. So, like a tight end that can take over a game. Not only just be 1 or 2 catch a game, but he can actually be like a featured receiver. Very excited about him. And I think it's just going to start, the momentum.
Great name too.
Yeah, probably the best name I've ever heard. And we've had some good names, but Rivaldo Fairweather,
what else do you want? Yeah.
Give me 10 of them.
Would you say he's a hulking super team with that size?
He's definitely a hulking. He may be past teen though.
Maybe 20. Yeah.
Yeah. He may be a hulking young man. What do you say? Hulking young adult? Hulking young man?
You can call it whatever you want. Yeah.
I guess I can. He's just hulking. Let's just say that. But yeah, Rivaldo Fairweather, watch out for him. And then, I think that's going to kind of start the ball rolling. I think we'll probably have a couple of maybe we'll get a receiver to pop over the weekend, a couple of offensive linemen, maybe even a quarterback. So let's see what happens. Let me just say this. The guys are absolutely recruiting their tail off. Like it's incredible how hard. Great. I don't even know. And it's not just Hugh Freeze. It's all of them, and he's got dudes like Joe Bernardi, who is not even a full-time on the field coach is out on the road. Kendall Simmons. They've got they're not just saying, hey, we only got 3 or 4 coaches. It's full. They're all over the place. They were in Atlanta, Montgomery, South Florida. They were all over the place today. It was crazy. So get ready. It's gonna get exciting. It's gonna get fun. A lot is gonna happen in the next 10 to 15 days. It's gonna be a ton of action.
We're talking about the roster just looking totally different. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun era of college football.
You're gonna have close to half of a whole new roster. Like almost half of your roster is gonna be brand new next year. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. I think we're close to sub 50 or around 50 players. Maybe less. So you're talking about almost half your roster that's going to be turned in a year. So
it's great,
and it's got to happen fast. So it's going to be like bam, 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 action every day. It's just love it.
Charlie 5, how can people love you, hear you, support you, all that stuff?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5. You can find me in the Locked On Auburn Discord or Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Yeah, and the Locked On Auburn Discord will be in the episode description down below. All you have to do is click the link. It is free. You can find all my written work at auburndaily.com. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been Locked On Auburn.